Toxic masculinity. This isn't a topic I've talked about for a minute, but it's a topic I'm going to talk about today. Toxic masculinity. This is a statement people like to use, particularly a couple type of people like to use when it comes to describing me and the men that run with me. Toxic masculine. There are only two groups of people who say this. Deeply devout feminist women, most of which wish they were dudes. That's the first group. The second group are weak-ass men who wish they were women. That's the second group. That's it. These are the two group of people who have ever said you are toxic in your masculinity, Garrett J. White. They will point fingers at men like me and different than me who do or behave in a way that is supposedly toxically masculine. Now, I confronted somebody about this here just a little while ago. And I said, what the fuck do you mean? What do you mean toxically masculine? That I am a representation of the current problem of toxic masculinity. So they went on to define what that meant. And they said, it is your aggression, it is your judgment, it is your stance of thinking that you are better than everyone else. I thought that's the whole definition of toxic masculinity. I'm angry, I'm intense, I am violent, and I am thinking I am better than everyone else. This is your definition of toxic masculinity. And I was like, okay, cool, got it, check. Next person. And they went down the list, and I asked a bunch of these individuals who were having a hard time, a bunch of these feminist women who were having a very difficult time with this idea of being a man. They're like, you can't talk like that. You can't speak like that. You can't do that. I said, well, first, bitch, you need to understand I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. That's the first thing you get to understand. The second thing you need to understand is you can say whatever the fuck you want to say, too. I'm not saying you shouldn't say this. But when you come into my world, and I'll give you an example. I had a woman. It was a woman. It was a woman who became a man. Not a man. This is what everybody says. Became a man. Took some testosterone. Grew out the beard. Grew out the beard hair. It's a little splotchy. Got some tattoos. But when I first met this woman, she was a woman. Then she decided she wanted to be a man. So she grew the beard. She tucked the boobs away. Didn't sew a penis on. Got some tattoos. And then tried to be one of my boys. I said, what's up, bro? I said, listen, can we be straight? And she's like, yeah. I said, let's be straight for a second. You're a woman, number one. Number two, there will be nothing you can ever do your entire life to be a man like me. Ever. Never. I don't give a fuck if you get tattoos. I don't give a fuck if you grow your beard hair out. I don't give a fuck if you grow all your hair out. I don't care if you cut your titties off. I don't give a shit what you do. You fucking do you. But you're not my bro. You're not a man. The end. See, I want you to watch what's happening. See, there's this downplay that's occurring in our society right now that tells men to stop being men, while then propping up a narrative of what a man is by making it justifiable that a woman can be a man and saying that a man can have babies, that a man can be pregnant. And then a man, heterosexual man, married man, with children, who stands up and says, fuck you very much. No. No. It's not it. You can do you. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can do wherever you want to go. You can be whatever you want to be. But when you come into my world, you'll find out real fucking quick, you're not a man. You're a woman posing as a man. Now, on the flip side of this, what's slipped down the slippery slope that I can't understand is how the following has occurred. Because of this narrative of toxic masculinity, we've begun to try to turn women into men. It's not working out for the women, by the way, at all. It's not working out because women are now being taught that they need to be deeply, deeply masculine. That to be powerful means that you must be a powerful man in your energy. which is hilarious to me because the women are starting to behave and want to behave like the thing they are calling toxically masculine. But it's not all women, by the way. It's not. It's not my wife. It's not all women. It's not all women. It's a small group of people that are trying to spread this narrative of bullshit across the country and across the globe. It's not the majority. It's not the majority by any stretch of the imagination. It's a minority of people who are stuck in this fucking twisted reality, who are pushing propaganda on our children, who are pushing propaganda on our teenagers, who are pushing propaganda on our children across the globe to believe that toxic masculinity is real. While at the same time confusing gender, while at the same time confusing teenagers at a time when every teenager's fucking confused, let alone what Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, and anybody else is attempting to do with their algorithms to push agendas down the throat of our children. And so we sit in this place, and I looked at this woman who wants to be called a man, and I said, "You're a woman." And she said, "I am not. I am a man." I said, "You're not a man." She said, "I am a man." I said, "Drop your pants and show me your cock." Show it to me. Show me your penis right now. It's not a gay move. You're a man. Show me what you got. I got no problem. I'll show you what the fuck I walk around with every single day. I was born with it. A penis, with testosterone, with testicles. I'm a fucking man. The end. You can call me a dolphin. You can call me a reindeer. You can call me a unicorn. You can call me a fucking carpfish. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm a man. You're a woman. You want to dress like a man. You want to behave like a man. I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want. But I'm not going to call you man. And people are like, that's disrespectful. And yet it's not disrespectful to tell heterosexual men who are married with children that we are toxic because we choose a path of a game that has begun from the beginning of life. See, this is what the contradiction is. It's so fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. See, I am supposed to accept that you are a man while at the same time being told that I am toxic, while at the same time being told that women don't need men, while at the same time being told that men are irrelevant, while at the same time being told that I need to be understanding and I need to be sensitive and I need to listen. And let me tell you what's happening in the man camp, the real man camp, not the vagina man camp. The vagina man camp doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. The men who have penises that support vagina man camp don't know what the fuck they're talking about either. So then what the fuck are we talking about? We're talking about a decision. Women can be women. Doesn't mean they can't be powerful. They can be powerful as fuck. My wife is savage. Doesn't mean she's not feminine. And it's okay to be a feminine woman. Because amidst this speech of men being toxic, women have been taught to be men. Men are being taught to be women, and women are being taught to be men. And it's becoming normalized to your teenagers. It's becoming normalized to be fluid in your sexuality. It's becoming normalized to be fluid in who you are. 6th grade, I'm straight. 7th grade, I'm bisexual. 8th grade, I'm transgender. 9th grade, I'm pansexual. 10th grade, I'm a fucking dolphin. So people look at me and they say, "You're toxically masculine." I said, "And you're a fucking idiot." And they're all exactly what I was talking about. I said, "You say somehow that toxic masculinity as if somehow this is a label that I do not receive. I'm happy to receive your toxic masculinity label if that's what it means to be a badass fucking husband, a fit fucking human being who's committed in marriage to his wife, who is heterosexual and has children, who he's raising to love God, to stand in a place of power, who gives zero fucks about your agenda and what you think I should say or what I think I shouldn't say, who gives zero fucks about people trying to cancel him. Good fucking luck. Cancel me, motherfucker. You can't. You get together an army of 1,000 vagina men and put them in the camp with 10 real men, and these 10 real toxic masculine men will fucking destroy those 1,000 vagina men. That's why I can't figure it out, because see, women continue to play this game. A lot of women, not all women. We need to support all this, and yet you also are supporting the hostile, aggressive takeover of men who can't get it done in the man camp, who want to now call themselves women, because in the man camp, they're just another average dude. In the man camp, they're just an average swimmer. In the man camp, they're just an average athlete. In the man camp, they're just an average fighter. In the man camp, they're just a fucking average middle-of-the-road dude. We don't have any problem with these men. But these men got tired of losing. These men got tired of being in the middle. These men got tired and didn't do the work required to climb to the top of the mountain in man camp. Because to do it, they might be called toxic masculine. So instead, what do? Ladies, do you not see this shit happening? Here's what they do. You know what the weakest men among us do? They try to be women. And then they've convinced everybody that they are women, even though they walk around tucking a penis and testicles between their legs. Let me go ahead and tuck this penis and testicle between my legs, pretend like I'm a woman. I've got ovaries. I can make life inside of you. No, you can't, motherfucker. You got a penis. And unless you plan on birthing a pumpkin out of that fucking penis, which has never happened since the beginning of time, shut the fuck up. Sad. It's sad to watch it happen. My niece is a collegiate swimmer. She swims at Brigham Young University. And I asked her, and I asked some of the collegiate girls that swim, all-American girls, what they think about all of this that happened in the swimming world this year and last year. And they're all, it's fucking absolutely infuriating. Absolutely disgusting and absolutely unfair. I said, I agree. You take an average male swimmer and you put him into a female space and then he dominates everyone. It doesn't mean that he's better than women. Men and women's sports have always been separated because the physical genders are different. Women need to dominate inside of their world the way they dominate. Men dominate inside of the world the way they dominate. See, here's the crazy thing. If you look at the fruit of what's happening, divorce is fucking running rampant. Single family homes running rampant. Confusion and sedation in technology. Confusion and sedation with kids and their sexuality. Confusion and dysfunction inside of marriage. Watch what happens. If you want to destroy a people, you don't come at them with guns and violence. You come at them with propaganda. You convince them of a few things. You convince them that men are toxic. Then you empower women to be men. You disempower men to be men and teach them to be women. You separate marriage. You disconnect men and marriages from God. You shatter the family. And now what you have is a nation of slaves. Toxically masculine men built jets, railroads, highways, electric cars, cell phones, technology. I'm not saying women aren't part of that. They are. One of the greatest tragedies I think that exists in the Bible is the fact that for whatever reason, the men that decided to filter that shit cut all the women out of the Old Testament and the New Testament. We don't hardly see any talk about women. As a man who is, quote, toxically masculine, I think it's bullshit. Because I see how much goes on with my wife. I see what it is and what profound intensity is to be a woman today. It is harder to take a stand to be a powerfully feminine woman today than it's ever been. Because the flip opposite of calling me toxically masculine is the fact that now we're going to call you something different on this other side. And women are rising in power while disempowering men, reversing the fucking game. It wasn't about disempowering women. I'm all about it. But the message in the attack is not empower women, it's disempower men. It's no different than a man leaving as a mediocre swimmer to be an all-American as a woman when he's really a man. And in man camp, he was fucking average. And in woman camp, he's elite. Women attempting to take powerful men down. Women attempting to take powerful men down who stand for truth, who stand for right. Because here's the deal. You throw me in the fucking camp as all of the assholes. It's like you taking an assumption, and let's say you're black and somebody white does something to you, and now you assume that all white people are a certain way. Or you're white and somebody black does something to you, and then you assume that all black people are a certain way. Men do this too. and they have one bad experience with a woman, and they decide that inside of that all fucking women must be this way. It's not true. All women are nothing. All men are nothing. But here's what I know. We are being lied to. Your children are being fucking placed in bondage. Toxically masculine men defend this country. The men I was on the phone with 2 days ago, active SEALs, these men defend the ability for you to call them toxic. The thing that's fun about toxic masculinity, it has as much validity as calling stocks secure. Do you know that's what they call stocks? Securities. They call them securities. What a fucking ruse. They call your 401k secure. It's a cover-up. There's nothing secure about the stock market. 99% of you should never invest a fucking dollar in it. Why? You don't know what the fuck is going on over there. But you just accept it. You're like, it's secure because they called it secure. It's like believing that the Federal Reserve is actually a government organization. It's not. The Federal Reserve has nothing federal about it. It's a privately owned fucking organization. Are you fucking kidding me right now? But we call it the Federal Reserve to keep you off the path. What do you do to men who are leading in power? Society has chosen to call them toxic, put a label on them no different than calling something that's insecure, secure. Calling something that's federal, that's not federal, federal. And now you're trying to call powerful men toxic who are not toxic. Consider for a moment, this is why I exist. This is why Warrior exists. This is why my boy Sean Whalen and Lions Not Sheep exists. This is why a whole lot of motherfuckers are rising out of nowhere, taking a stand. Taking a stand for one simple thing. Taking a stand for men. Taking a stand for men connected to God. Taking a stand for heterosexual men who are married, who love their families, who are connected to God, who do not speak and talk the way your happy clappy plaid pant and your khaki pant wearing pastor in the Midwest talks. I don't have anything wrong with you, pastor. He's great. But toxic masculinity is a fucking lie. And you got a decision to make for you. I've already made my decision. I had zero fucks about it. Give you one last story. The New York Post did an article on Wake Up Warrior in 2017, I think it was. They called up and they interviewed a bunch of my guys. They were trying to run a smear campaign on me and build me up as a cult leader, is what they were trying to do. The challenge was they interviewed 25 to 30 men from Wall Street, from New York City to Florida to California to Washington and across this country. Powerful men, many of these men with companies worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Men with credibility in Wall Street, men with credibility in the stock markets, men with credibility in the funds. So they went after these men thinking that they could frame the game. You can search this fucking article up if you want. It's called $10,000 Man Cult. That's what it's called, the $10,000 Man Cult. Now, the challenge is you read the whole article and there's nothing but good shit they're saying. Why? Because they couldn't uncover anything. And they asked them, they're like, are you part of a cult? And my guys over and over and over again would say the same thing. These are your independent men. These are free men. These are kings of industries. These are men that make fucking a shitload of money. They have powerful relationships with their wife. They have built their relationships with their kids. They're reconnected to God. They stand in authority. And they are what many would define as toxically masculine. And one of them was saying in the interview, said, listen, if being a fit man in my 40s, loving and lusting and longing for my wife and no other woman, being in deep communion and relationship with my children and unifying our family, being connected to God and a higher purpose in my life, and making and accelerating profits and offering more jobs to more people while rising revenues and profits in my business continue to expand. If that is what you're talking about by cult, then yes, I'm part of a fucking cult and I want everybody to be part of it. Because men on the game of warrior, as they rise in power, the outside influence continues to tell them that they are toxic. You are a toxic man. And I'm here to tell you, bro, you're not toxic at all. Your anger, your frustration, your irritation, your rage, your happiness, your passion, your joy, your softness, your feelings, your excitement, your discouragement, all of it is fucking part of being you. And no vagina man can ever be you. No vagina man can ever be you. You are a fucking man. The end. Stop apologizing for it. Stop saying you're sorry for it. Stop shrinking under the heat of these fucking idiots. Stop. Because the idiots are a minority. And they're loud. And they're obnoxious. And they think I'm obnoxious. And I don't give a fuck. Bring them. Bring them all. WarriorCon 4 is a gathering of toxically masculine men. Oh, shit. I swear to God, I hope I get some vagina men to protest this shit on the outside of my fucking building. Swear to God, please. If you know a few vagina men who just are losing their shit over this, please encourage them to picket my event. Please encourage them to stand outside. Please encourage them to bring more attention to this rising game of man. Please. Ask them to come. Ask them to protest. Tell them to bring all their fucking flags. Because at WarriorCon 4, it'll be the gathering of the 9 top men movements in this country. And we're fucking done. We're done with you vagina men. We're done with all this bullshit. We're fucking finished with it. Mark my words. What happens at WarriorCon 4? My friend. It's going to send a ripple. It's going to send a ripple. It's going to activate movements in 20 to 30 other men that don't even know they've been called to lead movements that attend this thing. It's going to weaponize the other 9 to 10 top movements in the country as we exchange weapons and knowledge and ideas and insights that God has given us. Yes, imagine that God has given us. If the churches could have got this shit done, they'd have done it. But they can't. If the government could have got this shit done, they'd have done it, but they can't. So guess what happened? The responsibility is rolling down to the entrepreneurs, running down to the frontline producers, running down to the industries and the titans of industries and the kings of categories to rise up and see their calling. My friend, I've been banging this drum for 10 fucking years. This WarriorCon 4 will be our 10th anniversary of the time that God came to me and asked me one simple thing. If I lead you to these stages, will you say what I need you to say? And I said, yes. And he said, turn your camera on. It wasn't as easy as it is today. So I turned my camera on and started talking. Little did I realize that this would lead to a global movement across 9 to 12 large men's organizations, all rising right now. So for the ladies who are sick and tired of these vagina men, for the ladies who are sick and tired of these women who want to be men, who continue to downplay your man, for women who are absolutely about traditional games of having a powerful man in your world who can listen to you and has feelings, but at the same time knows will defend the fucking castle, that will defend you, love you, hold you, and be with you, and also lead your children and be both savage and at the same time sacred with you, at the same time being savage, being soft with you, at the same time being savage, and underneath all of it, sacred. We're doing our part here. People think I'm against women. I'm not against women at all. I'm the opposite. I'm all about the women. I got a wife. I got 4 daughters. I got 3 nannies. And I got 1 homeschool teacher. All women in my home every day. I am all about supporting women. And the greatest wins for us here at Wake Up Warrior and for men coming to WarriorCon 4 is simply this. It's not going to come from you, my man. It's going to come from your wife. It's the letters from your wife. It's the messages from your children. That's what fucking breaks us here. It's when the tears start to flow with groups of powerful men meeting right now in my offices that I'll be heading over to here in just a second as my trainers got them warmed up today. Men who are real. We have defined and redefined manhood. Manhood is not just being a guy that can fuck everybody up, but it is a guy who has the courage to fuck people up if he has to. He's a man who has access to his full range of emotions and feelings. He is a man that is solid in being a man and at the same time absolutely okay with being there with 4 daughters, emotionally available and listening to his wife on date night. We have weaponized men in this place for 10 fucking years. If you know a man that needs to be at this, or you have a man that you wish was this, because this is the onslaught of DMs and messages to my support across all social media platforms, wherever this video and others are played, we continue to get the bombardment from women. It doesn't surprise me that 60% of the people that watch my content are women who are desperately looking for men to show up in their world, for their sons, for their husbands, for their brothers. And so if that's you, send them the link here associated with this video. Send it to them. Invite them to step in with me. Invite them to step in with the men that are coming to this place. Invite them to join thousands of men in the pursuit of one simple thing. The thing that the world would tell you is toxically masculine. The one simple thing is this: to be a man who is awake. One simple statement to finish this up. In every warrior, there is a man, but in every man, there is not a warrior. And this is why warrior is not for every man. But for you, my friend, where you know there is a rising warrior inside of you that is desperate to get out to set yourself free, we invite you to join us and to set yourself free from that captivity. We have the weapons, the tools, we have the systems, the process, the software, the evidence, the case studies of a decade of work and 55,000 men just like you. We were the originators of the black t-shirt, white print revolution in the man world. And we empower and support all the groups who have chosen to stand with us and do. Next piece, I'm not going to get my doorbell. It can wait. Here's the final piece. Final piece. The purpose of being a warrior is to rise as a king. A king does not have a vagina. A king has a penis. That's why they call him king. In every king is a warrior, and in every king is a man, but in every warrior there is not a king. Men come to warrior to find out if they have the courage to claim the crown. Waking up the warrior is simply step 1. Claiming the crown and liberating the king is step 2. Fortifying and establishing an abundant kingdom is step 3. A marriage on fire, a family on fire, a business on fire, a body on fire, and a relationship with God on fire, all at once. This is our pursuit: to build councils of kings, men who are free. If that's you, you know what to do. Click the link on my bio. I gotta go answer my first front door. Click the link on my bio and get yourself secured in our virtual seats. We don't have any more in-person tickets. Would have loved to have had you, but those are all taken for special VIP guests, current clients and partners of mine, as well as individuals that had a hand select available. We got no more of those available. Those were $10,000 a ticket, but we do have virtual hybrid event tickets with us. This will be the most intense virtual experience you've ever been through. 4 days, come on Wi-Fi. 4 days, 10 hours a day, 40 hours. You give me 40 hours of your time. You invest in this program with us, less than $1,000 to come play. You invest in this game as a man, or you get your man or your son or your brother to come play with us. And I can promise you at the end of 4 days, what I will hand you back is a man who is ready to reclaim the next 40 years of his life. You give me 40 hours, I'll give you 40 years. We pivot men in this place. It's what we've been fucking doing for 10 years. It's what I just got off of calls this morning doing. It's what people are doing today in my training facilities, my trainers. It's what thousands of people are doing, consuming content from me every single day. You're simply waking up to the possibility that being toxically masculine is actually the goal. It's not to be toxically masculine the way that the world has defined it. Yet being a man today and standing as a powerful man, a heterosexual man, a married man, a man with children, a man who loves God, and a man who is sick and tired of the bullshit and wants to lead his family to prosperity and to liberty and to freedom. Well, guess what? If that's being toxic, then we're toxic and we're okay with that. So my friend, click on the link on this page. Get yourself